Hello friends, welcome to my channel Hashtag Mantra. So friends, today I am here to discuss with you a very important topic, that is offset and fetch class. So friends, this class is used to limit the number of rows returned by a query. It means if there is any query that is returning any number of rows, but we want to limit that rows, like if any query is returning 100 rows but we want to get only 10 or 20 rows, so in that case we can use offset and fetch class. The offset and fetch class have been available since SQL Server 2012. We use the offset and fetch class with the order by clause. It means it is mandatory to use order by clause when we are using offset and fetch class. So if we are not using, then it will encounter an error. And this is the syntax: select star from table 1, then order by, then column list here, and we can specify ascending or descending as per our requirement. After that we are using offset and offset row and count. Here we can represent number of rows. Then we are using fetch first or next. It is optional, we can use first or we can use next. And then fetch row count. Here we can use number of rows, and then row or rows we can use any keyword, and then only. So by using the syntax we can use offset and fetch class. So here are some points which we need to understand, that how can we use offset and fetch class. The offset class specifies the number of rows to skip before starting to return rows from the query. So offset clause is used, then we specify the number of rows and it will return those number of rows to us. The offset rows count can be a constant variable or parameter that is greater or equal to 0. So offset keyword is used to skip the number of rows. If we are using offset 10 rows, then it will skip top 10 rows and it will show us only after 10 rows. And I will explain you these things in details by using some examples. The fetch class specifies the number of rows to return after the offset class has been processed. Suppose if we have specify offset 10 rows and then fetch, and after then again we have specified 10 rows, then this query set will return us row number 11 to row number 20. So this is the use of the offset and fetch class. The offset class is mandatory while the fetch class is optional. If we are not using fetch class, then it will return us all the number of rows. Additionally, first and next are synonyms and can be used interchangeably. Similarly, we can use row or rows interchangeably. So this is a very important topic and it is a very useful offset and fetch class when we are writing our queries. So now I am moving to the SQL Server so that I can explain offset and fetch class with some examples. So friends, here you can see I have written a simple query, that is a select row number is used for representing here number of rows, and then person underscore title, person underscore first name, person underscore last name, and DOB. These are the column name which I am selecting from the table TVL employee. And here I have also specified that order by class, order by person underscore first name. So when I am executing this query, so you can see here that what is the result set. So you can see that it has returned as 13,014 rows. This is a simple query. So now I'm going to show you that how can we use offset and fetch class in this query, and how helpful is this one for us. So you can see here that I have specified here offset 10 rows. Now you can see here that here serial number SN column is showing here as 1 2 3. Now starting row number is 1. Now I have used offset 10 rows, so What will be the result set of this? It will skip top 10 rows from this result set. Now you can see this result set. So now here I am using offset 10 rows. So it has skipped top 10 rows. If I am using offset 15 rows, so it will skip first 15 rows and it will show us from the SN equal to 16. So this is the use of the offset rows, and order by is mandatory, as I have explained this in my previous slide. Now you can see here that if I am commenting this order by, so it is throwing us a error and it will not execute. Okay. Now I am using fetch keyword so that I can explain you that what is the use of the fetch next keyword. I'm writing here again offset 10 rows. So you can see again the result set is. So now you can see that total number of rows, it is returning 13,004 rows. Okay. Now I'm using fetch keyword here. Fetch next 10 rows only. So what will be the result set here? It will fetch only the 10 rows, but it will skip the 10 rows. So it will result as that row number 11 to row number 20. Now you can see here that here row number is 11 and last row number is 20. I can also change this value. So here offset 20 rows means it is skipping top 20 rows, but I want to display here next 30 rows. So it will show here that 30 rows after 20 rows. So you can see here that total number of rows it is returning 30s, but starting value is 21. So here total serial number is 50, end value, and top value is 21. So you can see here that this is the usage of the offset and fetch class. So friends, if you like my this session, then please like, subscribe and comment this channel. And thanks for watching the session.